maybe when you interact with actual people, with the actual environment, so very enriching, and I did not regret that I was born way back years ago.
So, regarding your very abundant childhood, how can you describe yourself as a son? Or paano mo describe sarili mo as your father's son?
Anong klase ka?
Hindi kasi I had a very problematic family, so I cannot tell because most of the time I'm on my own. I was on my own, so I do things on my own. Usually the decisions I make has nothing to do with what they wanted or whatever.
You grew more independent people on your choices.
How about elementary days po? Was there any like significant thing that you did during that time na parang led you to this type of
I think I already love art. I was living in countryside. It's called the countryside, and there was no electricity, and I usually feel happy when it rains. Why? Because the ground will become wet.
yes.
The entire lawn or the entire landscape is my sketchbook. So I just draw there using stick.
So you started with mud and ano po?
Yeah, it's not something new. I think a lot of artists also did that.
They started there.
Which most of the children today cannot do.
Yeah.
Because they have the app.
They're more inclined to technology.
Yes.
Okay, so for our next question po, how old were you po?
Virgin na?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. When
Like, when mo na-discover
Bawal na ako edad ka ron.
art? Remember mo pa, like kahit elementary days, mga anak.
Actually, before
Baby ka pa talaga.
before
Baby, wow.
when I was in my mother's womb. when they opened her womb, they saw a lot of drawings. Then, I think before I went to school, I was already drawing. Sa lupa. Yung man parang wala kasi masyadong ibang paglaruan doon. Wala kang kasama. So, yun.
Was there any, diba sabi ni kanina that you have such a very dark point in your family history, but was there anyone in your family, aside from you, that also into arts? Daghan mo?
So, it's in the bloodline na talaga pala.
Again, ako nakita ko cousins, they were into tattoos. They are also very good at it.
So, nanay, ano ka ba? Nag
May drama kayo na sinaw.
Pero like, how did that develop from high school to college? Like, ano?
Okay. Very good question. High school, I cannot tell I was a very competent draftsman or artist. Kasi hindi ko man ako ganun seryoso ng high school. Then, when I graduated high school, the only reason I enrolled to fine arts was mag-fine arts na naman wala siya yung ano. Nowadays nga po, minor subjects.
Say na kami ang
Yung skip na dahil.
Oh, yes.
Di ba napugod, di mo ko nga nakaseryoso, pero when I got into that art school, the universe was slowly unfolding. There was a different kind of world that I was starting to take journey. Tapos, dahan-dahan, nagiging profound yung love for art. And I see artworks, especially the artworks that I really like, from books, ganyan kung sila makita yung museum, kung makapunta. And when I met artists who were really very serious into their arts. And I felt really, kaya ganyan yung makakataas ko ba yung heaven kay ka. Sobra pana. Sobra pana. Sobra pana. Naging high school lang, piligun ganyan. High school feelings ba? Talaga mo, kung feelings na wala na feelings. Kanang nagunahan na ka, basta sa text.
Inspired, di ba? Ang maka-inspired.
Yeah, very sublime. Very shallow man siya na. Infatuation lang mo. But this one is very sublime. Something that you cannot really, difficult for you to define, you cannot define that.
Yes. So rather than defining it into words, you define ka lang.
Every time you create something, of course, it's a double-edged sword. Sometimes you get frustrated, it's really painful. Sometimes you really feel that kind of feeling, heaven.
It's really about commitment to the
So you mentioned, sir, your metamorphosis. Nagpasok ka sa college.
Yes, butterfly.
So during the process po, did you have or nagkaroon ka po ng mga inspiration or like idols speaking and other painters po? Aside po?
Yes. Vermeer in particular. You know Vermeer? Johannes Vermeer. Research.
Familiar yung name.
Ako din, like we're gonna ask
I love the Pre-Raphaelites Brotherhood and Vermeer. Why? Because they are into details. What I love from Pre-Raphaelites because they are into details. What I love from Vermeer is also into details, but he has a very good composition. Composition is very important. In fact, that composition is the one giving character to my work, giving personality, giving a kind of distinct voice.
like your signature talaga, signature nila.
I will not call it signature kasi when you very superficial. Superficial is synonymous to style. I consider style signature word superficial. But character, personality,
Like you know na okay, here ko.
parang when you say character, personality, it doesn't matter what you paint. Whether you paint a rose, whether you paint this and that, there's something in that painting that makes you.
So since di masyado namin kilala yung alam mo, what is your favorite masterpiece from them na lang? So that para mas maano namin.
It absorb
Ma-absorb namin yung...
from your perspective.
Yes.
Favorite masterpiece?
Yes, of
The
that.
Milkmaid. Kulit, di ba? Kita na. The Milkmaid yung maid pouring milk. But you-
Oo, yan dati.
Vermeer is the one who painted the girl with the pearl earring.
Oh, di ba?
Yeah, right. Remember that? Bigyan namin sa ano. Basta yung sa idea po.
Okay, why was that your favorite?
Because Vermeer attacked it with a different technique, but without losing his character. Especially the brush strokes. He think the brush strokes he was using for that particular painting pioneered pointillism, or the pieces that we have now in dubbing of colors. You don't blend the colors, but you just put them side by side. It's a very difficult technique. Why? Because you have to mix the exact color, exact shade of color, and put it in the right spot. Dubbing of colors. Not necessarily blend, but just put it there. Then juxtapose it with another color, different shade, until you will be able to establish that gradation of values and it's never fun.
We're catching up po, sir. We're catching up.
I remember the image that people in our head.
Values is the interplay of light and shadow and everything in between.
We also had that in our prelims. Okay, so sir, you talked about all those techniques. Can you give us, due to our short time naman and fixated na can you just give us
Short time? Oh,
Ito na lang po, sir, kasi medyo mahaba yung question. So,
Yeah.
can you give us like a short or brief explanation na po on how you created this masterpiece as well? Oh yeah,
Okay,
masterpiece.
this one, I love fabric. I love how fabric expresses its texture, its shapelessness. It's shapelessness because fabric, like water, it follows the solid form. Follows the solid form. Here, the concept here is basically about, at the end of the day, at the end of the day, we always desire, everybody desires rest. So, the foreground, you're familiar with the terminology, foreground, middle ground, and background. The foreground is made of blanket fabric. So basically, patulog talaga yung blanket.
It's giving this soft,
Yes.
like very flowy.
The background is made of puludan ng kulay. Those are prints actually. Those are prints. Pinaglaruan ko lang yung mga prints. Ginawa ko parang well, hindi ka makakita ng stars talaga. Mas pinaglaruan talaga yung shape. Tapos ganyan ka solid yung edges. So yung prints ginagawa ko lang sila nag-glow. To put the viewers in the middle between plasticity and reality. Parang you are in the middle of reality and fantasy.
You're like I can explain it, or like moving back and forth to that term po.
You're caught in between. Then ECG. I think familiar kayo na sa Santiago nagadaan yan. It's a very classic Jeep actor. Basically, easy Jeep, hindi kayo makakita niya. It's not a luxury car, it's a working car. It's a working vehicle. So basically, you're working, and at the end of the day, you just want to rest.
Okay.
Hopefully, you will be able to find something restful in this life. Something sublime. You understand the words?
Yeah.
Yes, sige daw, explain mo daw sa akin.
Very light surface.
I was teaching humanities actually before. Tapos pag ganun yung mga students ko, yes, sige daw, i-explain mo sa akin.
Na-teacher ka namin, sir, siguro like we're so try to like humanities talaga siya. Saan siya from medicine?
So in general po, sir, you get your inspiration from tela, from the fabric. Yung most
As for now, I'm very obsessed with tela. But I think in most of my subjects, may tela talaga. And I love the rain. Pluviophile sa tawag nila, there are pluviophile, those who are very, they're pluviophile.
So most likely, is the message behind it like purely from imagination, or like is there a message from passive?
Actually, there's no such thing as pure imagination. Right? Because our imagination is just basically as rich as our reality. Because our sense experiences example, mermaid. Mermaid, they consider mermaid as an imaginary creature. But basically, it's just half human and half fish. Just take idea from fish and a human just combine. There's no such thing as really pure imagination.
Reality contributed to that, ano.
Of course, basically.
So, sabi mo naman sir that your inspiration is mostly came from, I mean, right now po, I mean, your techniques and what you want to show like from, tell us, are there other inspiration po that started you like, po, like, saan ka po nagkilala or what you, yeah,
I've encountered few people who claim that whenever they saw my painting, Bryan Cabrera talaga dumating. And then when I encountered some artists, and then they describe my painting as quiet. So that particular element, that element of serenity and peacefulness, whether disturbing serenity or just a relaxing peace, it's something all my works have in common. So whether I paint tree, I paint whatever I paint, there's the element of silence.
there's a sense of calmness po.
Yeah, sense of calmness. Sometimes disturbing. Sometimes there's a sense of melancholia, sense of unsettling. But the silence is there because silence is not necessarily relaxing. Sometimes it can be very, very disturbing, especially when you're depressed.
So there's a silence, sense of silence in each.
May I ask, sir, if yung paintings na, is it from the art genre of like surrealism ba yun? Or
Yeah, a little bit of surrealism, but most appropriately magic realism.
Oh, yes.
Have you heard the word magic realism? Kasi surrealism is more of a lack of distortion, while magic realism is the setting is just realistic, but there's something odd. But there's something odd.
Yeah,
There's something odd.
Really did your research though.
Yeah, medyo.
Did you research? That's very good. I know you did not do your research.
Sir, among your original works, what is your favorite and why?
So far, I'm mesmerized by
This
this.
one po. Bakit po, sir? What's something different
The
about it?
colors is very, there's a cotton feel-like effect of the painting, very soft. Even the metal is becoming softer, and the atmosphere itself. And there's sense of
It's like you're floating.
yeah, very soft.
Very peaceful.
Actually, Proud's favorite yun siya.
Ito po.
Parang Alice in the Wonderland, but very something modern pa. Ano po?
Alice in Wonderland.
Medyo.
Ang ganda.
Nag-reach siya naman. Nag-reach siya naman.
Ayun, nag-reach siya.
Title from himself after one.
Ayan, so she's reading chapter 1 siguro. Yan ba yun, sir?
That's good that you were trying to create a narrative out of the elements.
So, according po here, sir, that you were, it's giving us a sense of, like you're floating or like in a cloud-like structure, like, makuha ko na vibes. Is it true po that an artist is dependent on their mood or emotion sa daydreams po nila?
That's true actually, but not necessarily dependent. But moody, yes. But you need to discipline yourself. You cannot just work or paint because you cannot just decide not to paint because you're not in the mood. You have to really take a step. So what I do is I just start doing the thing that I have to do, and then after a few moments, you will be able to establish that rhythm or that mood. So basically, mood can be dictated. Pwede mong sabihan. But there are times that the mood is in control of you. So do not do anything because it will be a mess.
Just to, self-contemplate again?
Okay, hard thing. Ganun. Is it ano po? Are you an artist na nagagamit ng talent nila to show this approval of the government? Because there's a lot of artists that usually
Not
are you
something,
one of them?
not something new. You know, when you is it about the idea that you give proposal to government and you get rejected?
No, it's more likely to associate your art with politics kanyan po, sir. Like to show, yes.
To show their support to a
It's either support,
Okay.
Like,
yes. Like, have you had any art po na that's something related to it?
politics or anything connected to it.
Wala. But like, yung wala pa na display, like, for you.
Before, when way back, siguro mga more than 10 years ago, kasi may mga exhibit kami about politics or election. Usually, we conducted this exhibit during election. The title is India Banse. It was a culture of our group before. I had one painting that talks about politics. The title is The Red You Mocking the Blue, something like that. It's like two political parties,
Yeah.
the Red You Mock. It was a satire.
So, proceeding po, is it important for you po, sir, to dedicate to the public or have an exhibition po of your artworks to display po?
It's important for me not to dedicate my work to the public, it's mine. But to exhibit the works, yeah, important in some way, but appropriately, it's necessary. It's necessary because first and foremost, proud yung ganun makinambog mo dyan ka. Nakay ka na. Nakay na na-discover, nakay something new, proud yung ka. Secondly, para ka mailhan.
Yeah.
Okay, bisag ako, pag nag-show ko, wala man ko halin most of the time. Muna na ko day job, nag-work ko. Para, dili ko diktahan mo kung sa kong bago. Kung sa kong bago, eventually, muna dapat i-absorb sa mga. Dili to, kana mo kay halino na siya. Okay, muna nagapagtabo karon sa art market. Pag night trending, muna silang mga langaw na ako. Sige ka na, wata kay kana ang puso. Which is not good for the people like us. How can we express? How can we contribute to humanity itself if we keep,
Your box, that idea lang po.
put ourselves in a certain boxes, follow what makes trend.
And is there any way na you help inspire young artists? Like, was there exhibit ba rin na may mga young artists na nag-ano sa iyo?
Yang ka man ko. Yeah. Actually, yes.
Yes.
In a very informal ways, there are ways that I was able to help young artists, like mentoring. May informal talks.
Paano po sir ganito ganyan? Diba?
So, for asking po, sir, are you part of the Davao Artists Federation Corporation?
Yes.
Yeah.
My group is Davao Artists Federation Incorporated. Is Adabawenyo. Something. Consists of different art groups. So my art group is Figuras Contemporary. Figuras Contemporary give importance to figurative painting, to realistic painting. We want to show that one must have discipline before one can explore other genre. But there are much more freedom if you establish the basic foundation of art practice, which is the learning the elements of visual arts and how to manipulate them, learning pictorial composition, principles of design. I think you've encountered this terminologies Sama daw ang balance.
Balance is the
Show me.
Are you giving your
Visual balance. Yung visual balance is, to give you an idea, visual balance is in the context of visual art, especially the two-dimensional art form, which is painting or painting, visual balance deals with equal amount of visual weight. When you say visual weight, you cannot feel that weight. You can only sense it with your eyes. And you can sense it with your eyes once you are well trained. As an artist, you have to be like that. You cannot establish composition or a very powerful composition if you cannot sense that interplay of visual weight. A red dot can have a very strong visual weight if it's on its own. But when a red dot is put in a certain context, like it is surrounded with yellows or orange, the visual power, the visual gravity of the red dot shrinks. So you have to consider again putting it in another place to balance the composition. That's how visual sensitivity should be in all artists.
Well, you mentioned po, sir, about the Davao Artists Federation. Can you give us a tips lang po or how does it help po some local artists?
Actually, it's really helping a lot the local artists, especially the Davao artists. Why? First, we have this art festival. An art festival is a bit grandiose kind of exhibit. And it showcases their works. At the same time, it's a good venue to really make yourself competent as a visual artist.
Exposure na din po.
Yeah. Not just exposure. Yeah, exposure, but exposure is secondary. Something that you have something that you have to learn something
From that experience.
because culture is a very significant part of our city. It's a very significant part of our city, which sadly hindi lang siya masyadong napansin. If you go to other countries, what these countries are famous of is their arts and culture. You go to Greece, you go to Italy, arts and culture. In fact, biggest chunk of their economy is siguro arts and culture. Hindi na natin alam. Aside from prostitution.
So it's not only exposure sa art, but
Also the culture, it gives the culture the spotlight of Davao Artists Federation.
Okay. So, retire kami since pregnant kami. If doctors treat patients, the mga engineers and the structural, for you, what is the role of an artist in the society?
Art strikes our affective. Affective to me is what gives us human.
Yes.
Affective to me is what makes our humanity shape. And it is very significant. We cannot just journey with life trying to be intellectual at all times. You have to feel. And arts play an important role. Here, when, for example, environmental issues, how can you make people, or how can you push people to do something out of that issue? If you discuss, it will be very, very intellectual. People will not run out of anything to say, but if you make them love something, they will tone down their logic and just respond to it. Because you cannot change what you don't love. And art is one element that can establish this kind of attitude to feel that love for something that you want to change. For example, animal rights. You cannot just fight for animal rights if you don't feel love for animals.
There's something touching about art talaga.
Yes. Something moving.
Yeah.
Something moving about it.
It's very emotional and then in a sense,
Yeah, when you talk,
I mean, those are emotional.
when you talk elements of visual, these are intellectual.
Yeah, it's matters.
Yeah, it's very hard.
But there are artists who give importance to the emotional power of art rather than the intellectual domain of art. Okay, nation building. I think the answer is the same with the first question. You cannot just make people do something if the concept is too intellectual. Oh, we need the intellectual domain so that we at least we have reasons. We can justify our actions.
Our last question for
Nice.
Yay!
Let's go with
Our last
final question.
What is your message to young artists who have talents in
Ay, mga
painting
fans.
and sculpting in order to be successful in their field?
Well, I cannot really define success.
Depending on you.
It depends on the
Depending
person
on
about it.
how you feel.
Economically, I'm not yet successful. Perhaps, maybe not yet. Will not be at all successful. But having produced this kind of works, I'm already successful. So if you want to be successful economically, well, I'm not the person you should be asking. But if you want to be successful in terms of production, in terms of be able to produce a good quality of works, then you have to discipline yourselves. You have to be open. You set your ego aside every once in a while. Not all that time. You need your ego aside.